All right, today we have a 2007 Hyundai Elantra with a 2.0. The transmission is called an A4CF2. And what I have on the bench here is I have the valve body out of the trans. And what we're going to be doing is swapping out the solenoids, the harness, and the connector. What's going on with this is this came to me from a wholesale account in Failsafe, and it has multiple solenoid codes. It has P0743, P0750, P0755, I think 760, 765, about 5 codes. So after doing some research on this, and I believe there may also be a TSB put out by Hyundai. The problem is the internal harness. They're having problems with the internal harness. So what we're doing is we had sold them an entire electronics package. So we're changing the solenoids. They come all together on this, as a set on this block. We're going to change the internal harness, and this is the connector, which also houses the transmission temp sensor. And this here connects together. This goes in here. I'm going to get a little closer to show you guys this anyway. And when the body came down, we have some accumulators here. There's 4 of them in the unit. I don't know really what's what. This is actually the first one of these that I'm working on. But we're just doing the solenoids. So we're actually not even pulling this out of the car. Everything is accessible, of course. Drop the pan, drop the valve body. This connector here, if you ever have to take the engine harness piece off, what you actually do is you got to push the tab down. Not the typical, like you bend the tab back and pull it out. You actually push the tab down, you'll hear a click, and then you should be able to pull this off. And also this has a clip that holds this in place. It goes right at the top. This sticks up through the case, and then there's a clip, pretty heavy clip that goes in. A little bit of a pain to get that out. I'll actually show that to you as well. Alright, so let me get a little closer here to the valve body, and what we're going to do is, I don't really have to disconnect anything, but we'll just go over how to disconnect these. And this one here is a single solenoid on this side, which I disconnected already. This is your EPC, or the variable force solenoid, VFS as they call it. Alright, so let me get a little closer and we'll start going over this stuff. I'm going to switch out. I got all my parts here. So I'll actually show you what this stuff looks like. This is all from my supplier, but it is all OE stuff. Making this trans is too new for anybody to make anything on the aftermarket for this yet. Well, this is an 07 car, but this is the first one that I'm working on. This is what the solenoid pack looks like here. I'm going to just put this whole thing on. Of course, it comes in a Hyundai box. Here is this is the main harness, and this is the connector. And of course, I got a new filter and a pan gasket. I'm going to put new fluid in. All right, so let me get a little closer here and kind of just go over all this stuff. We'll swap everything out and go from there. All right, so I will be right back. Okay, all right, so again, here is your, what I believe is the EPC solenoid. They call it the VSF solenoid. That's probably variable force solenoid. So this I unplugged. Okay, now this here, you can see this little piece here, which this harness clips onto, And there is a little tab that you just lift up and pull this forward to release that. So I did that. Okay, now if you wanted to just change out the harness, kind of reminds me of a like an O&M Volkswagen harness. It's more of like a ribbon. Okay, so you just take I get a small screwdriver like this. All right, and I stick it in between and just move it out a little bit. And they kind of pop right out. So we'll do one more. I just twist the screwdriver a little bit. Or you can even get in between, twist it, kind of bring the screwdriver down and pop it right out. All right, but we're going to be changing out the entire solenoid harness and everything. All right, so we're going to take the harness. I'm sorry, we're going to take the solenoid pack off. Now, if you wanted to get these solenoids out, you take this, take these 4 bolts out, take this bracket down, and you can pop these out, you know, individual. But I'll tell you, it's very reasonable, because I think the only way they sell it is this whole pack. That's the only way that Hyundai sells it. But it's very reasonable. It's really not bad at all. All right, so we're going to take this thing off now. So we're going to flip this over. I think we got about 5 bolts. Okay, so there's one of them that does not come out, and that is this one. This bolt is not going to come out, so we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we got 7 bolts to take out. They are different lengths. Let's see if we can get them with this. All right, there is also a plate. You transfer that plate over. Okay, so this we're going to change. So this we'll put aside. All right, and now just getting back to this, I just wanted to talk more about this here. All right, so they're saying that the problem is the internal harness, and then you got to get all 3 pieces. So this is gonna plug in. You know, it'll should snap in like that, and then this goes out to the car. Sticks through the case, and then here is the clip that sits here to hold it. Let's see, where does this thing sit? Yeah, this thing sits right on the top here. Yeah, this thing sits right on the top. I don't want to, you push it on and it'll hold it from coming back down. Being pushed back down, and then you put the harness on, the engine harness. Okay, so that's that, and here are my new pieces. Again, all dealer stuff, because you really don't really have a choice, but again, it is reasonable. And when this valve body is up in the car, right, you have 4 accumulators, and this is how they go. Here, you got a double spring on this one, and you got a double spring on this one, and then just a single spring here on these. So this is how that's going to go, and you got a couple of dowels here that are going to go into, you know, a lineup. And then when you hang this valve body up, the linkage, let me just take these back down. The linkage is going to go through this hole right here. Manual valve is here. Manual valve is here. And then this will get hooked up. This hooks up to the manual valve, kind of like this here, and then you have your bolt that goes on. So of course this would have to come down to get the valve body out as well. Okay, so let's get back to putting these solenoids on. Alright, you know what I want to do actually? Let me just, there's some crap here, I just want to clean this down a little bit. When the trans worked okay. It came to us with the codes. The wholesale account claimed he cleared them. They came right back. We actually, after a couple of days, we got that to happen. I mean, we drove this thing all over the place. And we could not get these codes to return, and then all of a sudden moving the car from the front yard to the backyard is when it happened. So we drove this thing on the parkway all over the place for a couple of days. So we were actually thinking of giving it back to the customer to let them drive it, just so, you know, we can see that we want to get the complaint to happen. And then from just driving it front to back, you know, it happened. So, but let me just clean this up here. Just give me a few minutes and I will be back momentarily. All right, so I got this cleaned up a little bit. All right, now we're going to put our solenoid block on. All right, here also is the plate. I cleaned the plate up. All right, so we pretty much have bolt holes. We got these 4 here. Then we have 1, 2, and 3. So there's no bolt hole right here. All right, so the plate would go on. Plate can either go on like this or like this. Of course, that is not correct because the one bolt hole will be blocked. So plate's going to go on just like that. Okay, here is the new solenoids, and they are going to go on like that. All right, now we're going to pull this to the edge here. All right, put a couple of bolts in to get it started. Okay. Also, one thing I did want to mention, you have 3 seals in the case. 2 seals, you know, would seal against here and 1 here. So if you ever drop this valve body, got to make sure these 3 seals don't fall out. Turn this over. Also, this manual valve goes into a little track, and there's like a little pin. There's a little pin here, you know, to keep that in track. So let's turn that around and put that back in. See, now you can't really turn this thing out, you know. Okay. Okay. Let me just use this. I think my speed handle's underneath the car. So there we light. Right, I'm going to torque this down to about 85 inch-pounds. Okay. So now we can put the harness on. And so here it is here. And these we just snap right in place. Okay. And this will kind of come up around the valve body. All right, we're going to put this in place. Okay, so this is locked in place here. I slid it right on. And put that in place. Okay. So the next thing we would do, I'm not going to hook this up yet, because I'm going to put this in the car first. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the car, put the lock on so it can't fall down, and then I would plug this into here. But this has got to go in the car first. So one of the first steps after dropping the pan, dropping the filter, you disconnect the harness. You know, the connector from the harness. All right, and I think that's about it. And of course your filter. I've got 3 bolts holding that in. Filter's going to go here. So from what I understand from the research that I've done, they're having issues with this internal harness. I mean, these solenoids are probably okay, but like I said, it was reasonable enough that we just did an electronics package. All right, so this whole thing, entire thing, you know, is easy enough to change. Even if you just wanted to change out the harness, you would still have to drop the valve body to, of course, disconnect the solenoids, because this valve body, you know, we would turn it. We got to put the accumulators on, and it goes up just like that. Okay. All right. So the next step now is I've got to clean it all down. I want to clean it down because I got 4 accumulators going in. So I think what I may have to do, either wait for somebody to get in, or, I mean, it'll come right down. It's easy enough, drop straight down. Or I'll just put some grease here and grease these accumulators in place and go up with them and just get a bolt to get it caught. You don't have to worry about catching the manual valve because this goes on afterwards. And I think that's about it. You know, it's a pretty simple fix. It's a nice job. And this should get these people back on the road again. All right, so again, it's a 2007 Hyundai Elantra, multiple solenoid codes. And what's going on with this is Hyundai is having issues with the ribbon or the internal harness, and sometimes even the connector as well. So, you know, definitely change it out, at least both pieces. And I guess that's about it. So I thank you guys for watching this. A4CF2 is the name of this trans. This actually is the first one we got here. I was kind of looking up into the case where I can see the transfer gears and you know, some of the drums and stuff. Looks like a fairly simple trans. It is a 4-speed, front wheel drive. And I guess that's about it. So I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one.